Hey guys, my name's TJ, and today I'm going to show you how to make a dog dish holder for your house for your best friend. Good job. Let's get going. Alright, we got our supplies. We got our discount lumber, our hardware. We got some clearance wood stain and varnish, and then 2-in-1 paint and primer. So the first thing I wanted to do with this project is I wanted to kind of give the wood that I'm using a distressed barn wood look, and if you want to know how to do that, check out the video link above. Otherwise, we're just gonna fast forward through this and work our way to the next section. Now, once I got all of the boards roughed up and looking the way I wanted to, next I'm gonna cut them down to just various lengths, and that's gonna give us kind of an offset random pattern when we put this together. So this is looking pretty good. I'm just gonna lay out the dishes where I think they're about where they're gonna go. And it looks like I'm not going to need this back row, so I'll take that off. Okay, I moved our boards over to our just a spare piece of melamine I had, and next we're going to glue them together. Next, I'm cutting squares for our anchor bolts to sit in. Next, take your hardware, take off any stickers that are left on it, and you're going to rough up the surface with some sandpaper. With the hardware sanded, I'm going to wipe everything down with alcohol. Then coat everything with spray paint. With that spray paint drying, I went back and took all of the clamps off. Our glue is set up. Now I want to go ahead and square off the edges. And I do this, just take a square and draw lines, cut them off. And then next I want to take those bowls, and I'm going to measure those bowls, the diameter, and go ahead and take a compass, and I'm going to draw out the circumference of the circle here onto the wood. And in order to get these centered up, you have to take the take the board here. You're going to divide it into 4 equal parts, and the 3 parts, the 3 intersecting lines in the middle are going to be the center of each one of your bowls. So even though you got 3 bowls, you're going to divide the total length into 4 equal parts to get your 3 equal centers. I built a small frame of 2x2s, which will help support the structure. To attach that support piece, I am pre-drilling all the holes into that piece, and then I'm going to take drywall screws and I'm going to attach them together with that. Now, drywall screws are a great option because they're cheap and really easy to use. Our base is all screwed down. We're about ready to cut out our circles, but right here I have a little problem. I'm going to need to reinforce this little piece. When I cut it out, there isn't going to be much holding this on, so we'll just flip it over and glue down a strip. Our little support board is dry. Next, we're going to cut out the circles. We're going to drill a pilot hole so our jigsaw can fit inside. Alright, those are cut out. Let's test fit our holes. Just need a little trimming up. That's pretty good. Now I cut off the factory ends of these boards, and next I'm going to go ahead and remove any pencil lines with some sandpaper. I'm going to take that angle grinder and kind of rough up maybe some spots that need to be redone, and go ahead and reburn some of the wood that was roughed up by the sandpaper. And then we'll be ready for the next step, which is stain. So the stain I'm using for this project was Ebony Black. Now this, like everything else I've used, was in the clearance section I found at Menards. And it's really cool to do a project like this. You can do it really cheap, but with this stain, all you're gonna do is brush it on, get in all the little nooks and crannies, and then go ahead and take a painter's rag, and you're gonna wipe everything off after a few minutes. That's going to allow the low areas of the wood, the grain of the wood, to soak up that black stain, while the high areas kind of stay a lighter color, giving us really cool definition to our wood. And then of course, like any other wood project that you're going to stain, you're going to want to stain the bottom side as well. If you seal wood, you want to seal all the surfaces of the wood, otherwise it'll end up warping over time. Next, I'm taking the squares we cut, set them up, and I really want to try a different technique with these. I'm going to do a charcoal burn just to the whole thing instead of staining these black, and we'll see how it turns out. I think that burn pattern turned out really nice. Okay, we've given this a little bit of time to dry. Now we're going to put a polyurethane waterproofing coat on it. I've picked out a spot in my pantry where the dog shelf is going to go. Next, I'm going to mark the stud locations and draw a level line so it gets installed nice and flat. Next, I'm measuring up 12 inches to mark out our hanger locations. Alright, our stain is dried, and now we're going to drill the holes for the hardware. So I had a little issue when I was hammering down the hardware. The bottom support piece split apart. So we're going to take some glue this back together, and clamp it all down. While the base is drying, we'll hang the rest of the hardware inside. So I'm drilling 1/2-inch holes for our eye bolts, and that's what's going to hold on our brackets, which go down to the shelf itself. Then to attach the shelf base to the wall, I'm just screwing in a little kicker board underneath, and that'll get a hidden screw under one of the bowls. This is also getting screwed into a stud. After turning in those eye bolts, I'm just putting some decorative drywall screws in the 4 corners of our little squares here. Every project, it's easier when you clean up as you go. Last thing you gotta do is hang the shelf, level it off, fill it up with some kibbles and bits, and have your friends enjoy. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.